Florida has had many crazy political moments.
As of 5 p.m. today, the unofficial certified results of the recount are as follows. Governor George W. Bush, 2,909,661. Vice President Al Gore, 2,907,877. A difference of 1,784 votes.
With many polarizing politicians.
Florida is open for business.
On both sides of the aisle.
The state of Florida and the United States of America. Debbie, one second.
From the bottom all the way to the top.
And CNN projects Donald Trump will carry the state of Florida. With its 29 electoral votes, Donald Trump wins Florida. A huge win for Donald Trump. That's his second home.
But this past election lit a powerful progressive flame.
As Professor Tim Canova joins us from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, what facts do you have in the complaint, Tim?
Well, thank you, Larry. Our lawyers are preparing a complaint. We expect to file it early next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Stephanie Myers.
Steve, welcome to Roundtable with Steve.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about some of the work that you've done, and then we'll get into some of the work that you're planning on doing.
The Convo Couch sat down with these three progressives that we met on the campaign trail during the Democratic primary. They are now working on progressive campaigns for the 2018 congressional races.
Here is Bob. Pleasure to see you, man. Come here.
So I'm here, Combo Couch exclusive, with my main man, Joe Krebs. Joe, good to see you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for doing this. Jessica Garofalo's in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everyone.
I work for Tim Canova for his rematch with Debbie Wasserman Schultz in 2018, and we are looking to make South Florida progressive and Florida in general.
Nice.
The country, why not?
Are you working for somebody right now?
Yes, I am.
All right.
I am the campaign manager for Stephen Machat.
Okay.
And he's running for Congress in the 26th Congressional District.
So you're doing something now. Who are you supporting?
Stephanie Myers for Florida State District, State House District 93.
You hear that? Is she a progressive?
She is very progressive.
When did you join the revolution?
The revolution. So, I guess unofficially I joined when Bernie announced, because I had heard of Bernie prior to him announcing. I've followed politics for a few years now. And he was always one of my favorite senators. So once he announced, I was like, well, okay, let me look into this a little more. But then I saw there's this DNC chairwoman that,
What's her name?
Her name is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Maybe you've heard of her.
That's here. In Florida.
That's here.
By the way, where are we at in Florida right now?
We are in Hollywood, Florida, East Hollywood, Hollywood downtown.
What district is this?
This is District 23.
Michael Jordan's district, number 24.
You had mentioned this to me before on the phone, that it's the most flippable district. Can you elaborate on that for me?
Yes, actually, there's more Democrats than Republicans.
Okay.
But the district had been gerrymandered, and it was made so you almost had to be a Cuban-born Republican to win the district.
Yeah. When did you join the political revolution?
I certainly voted for Obama in 2012. That was my first vote. And
How old were you in 2012? Were you 18? Was that your first vote ever?
Yeah, I think I was 18 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe I was 19. But yeah,
Okay.
I was fairly young.
When did you dive deep into politics? What made you really say, let's go all in here, where you're now in front of me, a staffer for Tim,
for sure.
wearing the shirt, hitting the streets, going to the protests, you're actually going to the net neutrality. When did it really become really, really personal to you?
I would say when Bernie announced.
When Bernie announced.
Because again, I was always in it. I've always been a registered Democrat, but Bernie really opened my eyes to, you know what, there is serious corruption on both sides of the ball here. And, it really opened my eyes that, you know what, I'm going to fight to reform the Democratic Party. And that's been my fight ever since. That's why I support Tim as well.
Well, actually, I've been in political revolution as far back as 1968.
Wow.
Okay, it started protesting the Vietnam War, and I took rubber bullets and tear gas, and we closed down the universities, and we really worked, and we got the war finally ended.
So you were part of the whole Vietnam protest?
Absolutely. That's why when I first started at the young age of 19.
Wow. Well, what does it mean to you to be a progressive?
So for me, being a progressive means having a perspective mindset.
I think that's amazing. Somebody should make that a t-shirt. Progressivism or progressive means equals perspective mindset.
Yep.
That's why I had you on the show. Let's talk about this here. This is a big one because up until about 2 weeks ago, I interviewed a Senate candidate in California, David Hildebrand. And until I talked to David Hildebrand, you know him, you probably met him.
Sure.
Great guy, you know what I'm saying? But until I talked to him, I was DemExit. Now I'm DemEnter. Where are you at?
DemEnter 100%.
Why?
Probably for the same reasons Hildebrand got you to be DemEnter. Again, I mentioned earlier, I want to reform the Democratic Party. I feel like the DemExit movement is the most beneficial is to the establishment Dems. Because it's like, great, they're not here anymore to cause a ruckus, we can just proceed with what we want to do without any trouble. The DemEnter movement is, hey, sit at the table, stir the pot, you know, don't let, if they're gonna get away with it, make it as difficult as possible, so maybe they don't want to do it again. Or you just win overall. And a perfect example of that, of the DemEnter movement I like to give, is there's a county up north in Florida, it's a smaller county, it's called Brevard County, it's generally red. There is a woman that's actually running for Florida Democratic Party chair named Stacey Patel. She actually ran for chair, but to win for chair in that county or in any DEC county, you need to get precinct captains to vote for you. So she brought in a bunch of progressives as precinct committee people. They came in, they voted for her, she became the new chair. And that is a Bernie Sanders progressive.
And that's like a DemEnter movement that's looking at...
I learned from Bernie, you have to run as a Democrat in order to be noticed.
So you're saying DemEnter versus DemExit, you're DemEnter.
Absolutely.
Can you elaborate on that? Because a lot of people are still stuck with the DemExit mentality. They feel there's no way to reform the party.
Absolutely. The two-party system is a rigged system. Okay. When the Green Party candidate, who got as much publicity as possible, only gets 1%, it tells you that there's no room, okay, for a third party or an independent running in the national election, and the same thing in the state elections.
So you're DemEnter, 100%?
100%.
Are you DemExit or DemEnter?
DemEnter.
You are? Why?
Hold on. There's no way that you get a voice at the table if you're not in the room. Like, you don't get a seat.
Were you ever once DemExit?
No.
Right now, if you had a choice to be a president, if the president could be Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump,
Great question.
Who are you saying would be?
I don't even think I can actually say. I mean, of course, I'm going to lean towards Hillary Clinton just because of all the craziness we're seeing with Donald Trump. But a huge point with Donald Trump being president, and I see it firsthand, and I'm sure you have too, and just with new people being engaged. You go to an event, all these new faces. People come up to me all the time and say, you know what, I've never cared before, but we have this orange guy in office. What do I do to get him out? What do I do to not let that happen again? And I say, great. Those people I don't think would have came out if Hillary was president.
You know, I know Trump. Okay? I know what a con man he is. Okay, he's a divider. Okay, his whole agenda is to divide the Jews from the Arabs, the blacks from the Latinos, women from men. Okay, as long as he and his oligarchical friends can keep us divided, they win. Okay, when we come together as a people, we do what's best for the people, we cannot be defeated.
So you're saying if you had an opportunity to go back and redo your vote, you'd leave it the same?
Yeah.
Despite the DNC's behavior, even with Trump winning and them still continuing to move to the right and thwart progressives, you think that still maybe it was okay that the establishment was broken, even from a demagogue like Trump, maybe?
As Naomi Klein said in her recent book, which I recommend everybody to read.
Great author.
No is not enough. Okay, and all of this was bound to happen. We reached a point where people were fed up and they voted for the person least likely, to bow down to the establishment. But now that he's in, he's just as bad as the rest.
Would you rather have Hillary Clinton in office right now than Donald Trump?
Yes.
Why so confidently, though? I mean, because the Democrats have acted so just disrespectful. They move further to the right. They're still thwarting and ignoring progressives. In fact, you have more progressives going on Fox News because CNN and MSNBC won't even show them. So who's to say their behavior wouldn't even been worse had Hillary Clinton got in?
So I've gone back and forth with this. Certainly, did Donald Trump getting elected make people more woke, for lack of a better term? Did people become more active because of his presidency? And I could say people are certainly more afraid.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's how we should get people motivated, because we haven't translated that fear that they're getting into, okay, can you canvass on this day for this candidate locally so that we can get Democrats elected? That it's not translating to actual results that we're looking for.
But I think that's a lot to do with people still being consumed with their lifestyle. I mean, the fact is that people have to work 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. You said, hey, I got to work, and when I'm done with work, I'll come over here.
Exactly.
It might be 25, 30 years ago where our parents, the workforce they worked in, hey, I'm going to take off so I can do the interview with Pasta because I can afford to. People just can't afford to, so I don't think we're going to ever get that level of getting people to get involved, getting people interested in Germany.
And that's what I saw with Bernie was if we can turn this income inequality around, if we can give people health care, if we can increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour, if we can get people to a modest, I'm not even saying good, a modest position in their lives, they can actually move forward and translate their available time to fighting for climate change action or any of the interests.
Pick a topic, any topic, Let's talk about what's going on in the mainstream media, because I've been kind of making a point of this. How do you feel about the Russian hacking story? Where do you stand on that?
I've heard things that maybe they put out some sort of propaganda as much as attack ads against Hillary, stuff like that. As far as them actually hacking our systems and giving the election to Trump, I don't side with that.
Neither do I.
I don't like scapegoating Russia. To me, it gives the establishment an excuse in saying it wasn't us, it was Russia. I don't even want to go near that. Then we'll never learn our lessons. They'll never learn their lessons, and we're enabling that behavior. So, look, if there wants to be an independent investigation on Russia, let it happen. Until then, until that's over, I'm not going to sit here and say we lost because of Russia.
Well, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the Russian hacking? Do you believe that the Russians act and influence the election?
To tell you the truth, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay. Why?
Because what influenced the election was that we had two evils. And when you have two evils, the worst evil usually wins. It happened here in Florida for governor, the worst governor in the world.
Rick Scott. Oh my Lord.
For him to win, it's incredible. But we didn't give them an option. We have to give people, good people, to vote for.
Russia.
Where
do you stand? Do you believe that the DNC was hacked? Do you believe it was a leak? Or do you believe there was serious Russian involvement or no Russian involvement?
All right, there was serious Russian involvement, 100%. I have no doubt about this, and I have articles dating back years ago, way before the
Do you really think they were influential?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, absolutely. So people, let's just take the fake news, for example. There were more fake news stories that had gone viral right before the election than there were real news stories coming out. And people take those for face value. You see something on Facebook expose Hillary Clinton and, Pizzagate, whatever.
Yeah, but don't you think that the people who are already going to vote, here's what I've always said, the criticism from the left of the establishment is different than the criticism on the Republican side. You know what I'm saying? They are so obsessed with Benghazi and Pizzagate and whatever, and we're obsessed with, Goldman Sachs, you know what I'm saying? Rothschilds taking having a fundraiser with the Rothschilds, fracking. Our criticisms are different. So I don't really think that any of the seeds that were planted really swayed votes. I think they were already confirmed in the people who are going to vote for Trump anyways.
Well, think about this though. So let's just take what happened like right before the election. Like James Comey brought and said like, she may be like, we may have to indict Hillary Clinton on her like email stuff, but I'm not really
He said
sure.
He was reopening the case. Is what he's talking about.
Yeah, and like that gives people tons of doubt about like, what if she's indicted while she's president? What are we gonna do?
But that's not a fake news story. That's a real story.
That's a real story, yeah. But like these kinds of things right before the election change people in their thinking, and they're like, well, if she's gonna be indicted, why vote?
Where do you stand on impeachment for Donald Trump?
Ooh.
Are you pro-impeachment or anti-impeachment?
I am anti.
You are?
I am anti.
1 second.
Sure.
I say, the hell with impeachment. Vote his ass out. He's the democratically elected leader. And when we vote him out, we have a great opposition. Why are you anti-impeachment then?
Why am I anti? Number one, I'm terrified of Mike Pence. Okay, that's number one. People say, let's get Pence and him out. Great, I'm terrified of Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
The solution isn't, the solution, the result of that won't be so much better in my opinion. Number two, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
People think it's like, let's just say we want to impeach him and it happens. No, it doesn't work like that.
Every other word out of his mouth is a lie.
But do you feel we should impeach him?
To tell you the truth, I don't think that's going to matter much. I'd like to see him caught up in, okay, if he did the things that I think he did, he should be impeached. Okay, and then we end up with the other moron.
Yeah, Pence. Let's talk about impeachment. You want Trump impeached?
Man, well, we just tried. Or did we try? Because the Dems did not vote for that. And maybe, I think that he is a horrible leader. If you even want to call him.
I sense a butt coming in here.
Yeah. The butt is, it should be through the judicial process.
Absolutely.
No more Franken. Today, we just learned, I think he's done as far as
I've never
his
been
shot
a
to
big
be
fan of
president.
Franken. I mean, he's not public enemy number one, but I don't know if you recall the superdelegate comment he made.
Yeah.
Today, Al Franken resigned. Should he have?
I hated to see him go. It disgusted me, the fact that he has to resign, and yet we have Trump and Moore who are being put on a pedestal, being allowed to get away with much worse than he has.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's all fairness is out the door.
Yeah.
This is politics, and that's why.
Well, I think they want to politicize it. I mean, there was also a Democratic senator or a Democratic congressman who came forward today and said, "Oh, we got rid of Conyers and Franken. You should get rid of Moore and Trump." So I think that was more the factor. However, I do feel that he should have resigned. The thing that did it for me is that the woman was asleep, and that's why I was bothered with it. However, once again, the what Moore has been accused of, what Trump has been accused of, but now we have 7 men, so like 7 women. So I think it was one of those situations. I just hate the fact that the Democrats are politicizing it. So,
but also this happened 15 years ago.
Yeah, I hear you.
He was not a senator. He was a comedian who did these shticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think Al Franken should have resigned?
I do.
Why?
All right, so when he said today that, I understand the irony in the fact that I'm resigning when pussy grabbers in the Oval Office and Roy Moore, pedo freak, is running for Senate still. I mean, it's not
17 women, I think it is. Is it up to 17 or something like that? I don't care how long ago it is. It's 17 friggin' women. Yeah.
Well, regardless, it's not irony. And I saw this thing from Bree Newsom saying this is the systemic nature of how each movement functions. Because the conservative movement is founded upon racism, sexism, power over, an individual, power over, the 99%, if you want to say. Power of people over power of corporations over people.
Yeah.
And they're founded upon this power structure. The progressive movement is supposed to eradicate racism, sexism, misogyny, or supposedly they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, the progressive movement, if you want to be held to a standard, yes, he's not, Franken, what he did is nothing in comparison to what Roy Moore did. Nothing.
But our standards as progressives.
Yes, is that there are certainly women who can take over his role in a flash.
Hey, for Bob, I want to thank you for doing this Convo Couch exclusive with me. I think it's great what you're doing. It's awesome that you're working on this campaign. I'm a big Tim Canova guy. Can I get another T-shirt?
You can.
Awesome. Progressive for Bob. How do you say your last name?
Taranian.
For Bob Taranian. He's not from California. He's actually from Florida.
But I'm a LA Rams fan.
He's an LA Rams fan. When he comes, we'll bring him to a game. Please check out his Facebook. Look at timcanova.com. You want to say anything to the people out there for Tim? Or
yeah,
yourself?
guys. If you can, timcanova.com. Make a $5 donation if you can. You hear that all the time. But also be sure to follow him on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, and share his articles, share his posts, retweet him, give his stuff a like. And just tell people about Tim. And also, what I'm finding is a lot of people still don't even know that Tim is running again. So if you can help out with that, that would be awesome.
Gotcha. Awesome. Listen, you guys have heard me. I'm a big Tim Canova supporter. I asked Santa, just give me a Tim Canova witness.
It's true, and he told him that. So.
Definitely. When you come out to California, you do my show with me?
Absolutely.
Perfect. For Bob here, staffer for Tim Canova, we want to thank you guys. Convo Couch exclusive.
So if people can't donate, what else can they do to help out progressive campaigns?
Well, there's a lot you can do, okay? We need people on the ground, okay? People who are willing to knock on doors, make phone calls, and talk to their friends and relatives. We need people to work on the district, okay? If we start taking over districts, okay, we'll take Florida back, and as Florida goes, so goes the country.
You said that. You said Florida is the new California. What do you mean exactly?
Well, Florida can very easily flip to being a blue state.
Okay.
If nationally they put money into it, and we have the right candidates.
What are we taking back? Tell them, Joe Krebs.
We're taking back the Senate. We're taking back the House. We're taking back governorships all throughout the country. Enough is enough. It's time that we had people who represented the people and not the corporations.
This is the Convo Couch exclusive. We're here with my man, Joe Krebs. You can go to, you want to give all the information for Mr. Mashat, please give it right now. If you want to support some progressives, support Joe. Joe's the campaign manager for who, Joe? Go right ahead one more time.
For Stephen Mashat. The website is mashat2018.com. You can contribute. We're looking for $10, $20, okay? Everybody can find that, and if you do that for us, we will, I promise you, we will fight, we will be a voice for the people, and we will take back our government.
Are you thinking about running for something one day?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
I want to start local.
You want to start local?
Start local, for sure. There's no reason why I should start like a run for the Senate.
Yeah.
Not the time. Not the time. But certainly I would want to develop a, not just like following in my community, but like a real connection to my community. And I feel like I've done that here, but I'm not, given climate change, I don't think I'm going to be staying here, while the sea levels rise. So I'm going to try and figure out where I want to land myself, that I want to really develop as a person, professionally, personally, and come in contact with the community and really grow myself and plant myself, root myself, and then run for office.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Jessica, I want to thank you for taking the time out, coming out, talking to us from the Convo Couch. We can give a hug. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Garofalo, can you give one last shout out, talk about who's running, where they can find you, what they can do to help out?
Stephanie Myers, running for Florida State House, District 93. You can go to, I think it's myersforflorida.com, MYERS for FORE, Florida, whole word.com. And then she has an Act Blue, because we're only doing progressive fundraising, like small donations. We're not using Nation Builder. If you can donate a small amount of money, it would help us significantly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
No one knows how many seats these Florida progressives will take in 2018. What we do know is that they will fight till the end.